Welcome to this FEI Beat the Heat episode about equine preparation for thermally challenging environments. In this video, we will show you how to handle acclimatization, nutrition, and cooling techniques for optimal results with your horse. Let's start with the acclimatization. To help your horse get accustomed to an increased temperature safely and adapt to the heat while in your home country, here are our 5 recommendations. Train during the hottest part of the day, 4 to 6 times a week for at least 2 weeks prior to departure. Train using rugs during shorter training sessions. Use only breathable material and check your horse frequently. Train on a treadmill in a heated environment 3 to 4 times a week. Do this instead of a normal session and reduce the training time. Avoid training harder and longer, as it will increase the risk of injuries and reduce performance. When possible, plan to travel to hotter and more humid environments at least 2 weeks in advance of competition to facilitate climate adaptation. A combination of these recommended techniques, associated with a regular and graduated acclimatization process, will give quicker and greater results. During the first days of acclimatization, your horse might experience a loss of performance, but after 4 to 5 days, it will start to adapt to the new conditions and recover its full potential. In other words, it will become acclimatized. Nutrition and hydration. Nutrition and hydration are hugely important for your horse in a hot and humid environment and should be a top priority. Above all, avoid dietary changes just before or during travel. If the horse's diet needs to be modified, any changes must be made at least 4 to 6 weeks before travel to reduce the risk of colic. You can reduce the risk further by feeding small amounts of concentrate feed in 3 or more meals a day. Hydration is also a key factor, as your horse, like you, will sweat more in hot climates. Compensate fluid loss with unlimited access to water and supplement with electrolytes. The best way to start implementing these changes is as soon as you start the acclimatization process. Cooling techniques. Aggressive cooling plays a major role in reducing heat-related illnesses in horses. Learning the right techniques and training for them at home will make a big difference. First, learn to recognize the signs of overheating. The horse feels very hot, blowing, deep and labored breathing, or panting, fast and shallow breathing, excessive and visible sweating, prominent blood vessels, unsteadiness after exercise, little reaction to environment and people, rectal temperature above 40 degrees Celsius. Learn the right cooling techniques. Start cooling immediately, even if the horse seems only warm. Too early is better than too late. Perform cooling preferably in shaded areas. Cover both sides of the horse simultaneously with lots of water, starting from the head and working backwards. Cool for 30 seconds. Walk for 30 seconds. Repeat. Use iced water if available. It will not cause muscle problems. Perform cooling for 10 to 15 minutes or longer if required. Your horse may shiver. It's normal. Assess temperature and breathing. If hot, keep cooling. If cool or just warm, walk for longer. Stop cooling when your horse is cool or stops panting or blowing. Normal or misting fans are only supporting tools to help the cooling process. They should not be considered as primary solutions. Avoid bad cooling techniques such as inserting ice in your horse's rectum, cooling only specific areas such as hindquarters, cooling only large blood vessels, placing wet towels or rugs on your horse, using sweat scrapers to remove cooling water, You are now up to date with best practices and ready to prepare your horse to perform at its best in hot and humid climates. So, train accordingly and please check the other videos in this series for complete coverage of all heat and humidity topics to go beat that heat.